Okay, good afternoon, folks. I hope everyone is well. It is the 16th of April. We got Powell talking later around about 6:15 UK time. So my new rule is I'm done and dusted by 6 o'clock anyway. So there's no point in putting any sort of notice on the board or on my chart just to remind me. So Speedy, how you doing, my friend? So let's have a little look at this. We're clearly going sideways at the moment. We've pushed up, we're going sideways, but we have had this little spike and channel. Maybe this is two attempts to go lower, and then we're possibly going to push up for another leg. Now, if I was at the chart, now I don't trade till 2 now, but that was just after 1:30, so that I would have taken. We clearly had a channel up. We had a nice two-legged correction, bounced throughout 3 times right there, which I like, and then we had a strong push up, a little bit of a pullback, and that one worked a treat. If I was here, I'd have taken that one. That went up for, well, over 6 points comfortably anyway, so that would have been nice. But I don't trade now. I don't get to the chart now till 2 o'clock. That gives me about 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes just to check everything and set everything up. And it just helps me control my trading, really. It gives me that set 4 hours, which I can work between, which is plenty enough. So, okay, market has just opened. So, are we retesting this and are we going to push up? We've got a leg and a leg. Let's have a little look at this. Leg, a break with a leg. Are we going to push up? Let me just check. There's no big channel there working down there. I don't think there is. It's possible. It's hard to say at the moment. We've got a channel break. We've hit this 3 times. There is a bullish bar there, but I don't like the bottom of it. But my slight concern is there may. Looking at the NQ, well, it's a lot more of a range on the NQ. We've broken out the top of it and pulled back in, and we've broken out a second time and come back into the range. So if I think we're going to push out a third time and push up, maybe a bit risky. So that bar there is engulfed that one, and I'd say it may stop that one out as well, in which case I think it's coming in and we've maybe got a bigger range. If that breaks below there, I'd say, let me have a look at this, because it does look like it's coming back. We got a channel there with a break. There may be a second entry short here. If we can get one here, this may come down. Trouble is, I'm worried about going short into that. So, leg and a leg. If we can get back up here again, we've got a second entry short forming on the NQ. Now, that is definitely more ranging, so I don't think that's bad, to be honest with you. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, there's nothing here, unfortunately. I was hoping we may get 2 legs back up to here and then a push down. I'm not a fan of going short into this, but I think from what I can see, mind you, look at that. We've got a second entry short there. I'll be surprised if that gets taken out. Or is that just going to trap those longs? That looked like a nice trade to me. Nice second entry short. Channel down, 1 leg up, 2 legs up. Okay, so it looks like it's holding. Let's have a look. I'm staying out of this at the moment because it's flicking up and down a bit. Is that going to push up above there, or is that stop going to hold? So I actually like that trade on there. We got a nice channel down there. 1, 2. Okay, no, stop that out. I thought second entry short. This is going to come down. Maybe a big leg and a leg. Strange. Let's have a look. Maybe it's just a bigger break. A leg and a leg. Let me just see if there is something larger. That may be. Okay, this looks like a range. I think this is coming down. we've got a leg, and I think it's probably going to come down here, and I think this is as well. I looked at that one, but it is 2 legs back. Trouble is, it is shorted into this. I think this is going to give, to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure it is. Let me have a look. In fact, that even may be a triple test. 1, 2, 3, maybe. I'm not so sure about this at the moment, because look at that, that's turning. 1 minute it looks like it's going up, next minute it looks like it's coming down. We have tested this 1, 2, 3, so that makes sense, I suppose, that it goes up, doesn't it? 80R needs to come down a little bit as well. It's flicking around a little bit at the moment, so I'm probably just going to sit tight and let it sort itself out. 1 minute it looks, I mean, that came down anyway and made some points, and then we pushed up quickly, and then we got quite a bearish bar there, and after this channel we haven't quite made a new low. You'd think it would likely make a new low, but this looks to me like it's forming the bottom of a range. But then you got this, so it could smash straight through this. So looking at this now, the way this bar's forming, I'd say this is likely to come down, but I thought that a minute ago, so 1, 2, 3, that is a triple test there, but it's a big bar. I think this is going to break through all this. Yeah, it is, isn't it? So it's a bit choppy, all this. We got once, twice. That is a triple test. Trouble is, we're expecting that such a lot, you just don't know, do you? But that was a nice, quite a nice bearish bar, and if it gets through this lot, Chris, how you doing, buddy? So this looks like it's on the way down now for another leg, maybe a larger channel. Let's see if that finishes there. Hopefully it will. So I would suggest now this is probably just a bigger channel, a bigger range. Yeah, I'm pretty certain of that now. No, I didn't speak to him, mate. I couldn't. I had some wood to pick up, bud. We're having a chat tonight. But I did do a little bit of research. I watched a bunch of videos last night, so let me just bring this over. Look at my history to get a general idea. It's a little bit tricky. There's my history. Yeah, I did watch a few of these videos last night, that one, with fair value gaps, and that one as well, fair value gaps, and that one as well. I watched those few videos last night. Just a bunch of other bits and pieces. So it is a bit tricky, actually, but I will have a chat to him later if he's around today. That looks like it's very close to that leg. Where's that channel gone I just had? That just disappeared. Am I losing my marbles finally? I could have sworn I'd drawn a channel there. Am I losing my mind? Maybe it's just 2 legs. Okay, so are we just retesting this area? Let's have a little look. So we've had a leg down there, eventually we had a break, and eventually made a new low. So Indy, how you doing, bud? Didn't see you there. My apologies. It's a little bit tricky. It's a little bit tricky. I think the general gist of it I got was when you got 3 bars that don't overlap, with the exception of the wick. So something like this here. These 3 bars, generally, I think the idea is, depending on what you're looking at, you enter an order here, enter your stop here, and then go 2 to 1, something like that. But I think some of these strategies are a bit tricky. They just take you a little bit of time. So I'll have another look later. I'm trying not to get too in-depth into it because sometimes it takes the focus off what I'm doing now. There is a lower high there, but that's just a little bit too far from that EMA for me. If we can get another push up, then that may interest me going short. Excuse me a sec. Okay. So, channel down with a break. We didn't quite make a measured move, and there is a lot more space down here to fill, I think. So, there is a lower high, but that's just too risky for me. It's too far from the EMA. We could get sort of a leg and a bit more of a leg and then down. So, I would prefer a push up before it gets too much lower. I don't think we're going to get it. Well, I hope you're the same. I'm all right, mate, actually. I'm in a good place now. I'm just trying to sort of, what's the word, tidy myself up a little bit. Just what's the word I'm looking for? Just to sort of clean up those cracks, fill the gaps, I should say. Just to get myself looking. I was thinking about it and talking to my wife last night, and I said, I think I've been more. Now I'm obviously I'm constantly learning, aren't I? But I think I've been more. I've had the learning hat on, whereas I've taken risks, I've taken gambles, I've done some silly stuff, and now what I think I need to do is to take the learning hat off and put the business hat on and think, okay, now I've got enough skills. You need to move to the next level and start to treat this like a business. And obviously in business, you don't take stupid risks and stupid gambles. So I think I just need to grow up and mature a little bit, and just start to just think, okay, now do I want to continue to mess around like this, or do I want to start to have some consistency and make a business of this? Because ultimately, you know, we've all got to earn a living, haven't we? And you know, whatever type of job you do, you don't mess around with it, do you? You turn up, you do what you're supposed to, and you come home and you get paid. So I just need to do that, really, just to sort of mature, I think is the word. Is there a bigger channel there? I don't think so. I've got no issues admitting sometimes I can be a little bit stupid. Actually, I don't think that's that bad. I can be a bit silly, and a bit, what's the word? Immature, I suppose. So yeah, I've just got to try and sort my life out, so to speak. Okay, so we've got a channel down, we've got a break, and we've got 2 pushes down. We're not far off making a new low there. I think we probably will. Have a look here. Little bit sideways there. So we're about to make a new low, I think. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that did what it was supposed to, leg down. Unfortunately, whether you would take that one or not, I don't know. We sort of, mind you, we pushed up, and I suppose you could call that rejection, really, couldn't you? So it's a fair old size bar, I think. That EMA is still slightly on the large side size. So tick above, tick below. It's around about a 4.5 point risk, that, isn't it? Yeah, it's a little bit more than I want on something like that. I would prefer something a little bit, maybe a lower high. I think the same margin. If you took that lower high, as I mentioned, it's way too far, and it did exactly what I thought it might do. Eventually break above it, and then it's come down. So that's the type of trade I've taken before. In fact, I took a trade like that yesterday. The sentiment was right, but the positioning was wrong, because it came down, took it out for a tick like it did yesterday, and then come down. So what I need to do is just be a little bit more patient. But I did notice that one. Sort of similar in a way to yesterday. I thought, I think we could do better than that, and we did. But by the time that bar formed, it was clearly congested. So my gut is telling me we're coming lower just based on what I'm seeing now, and we did. But I want a little bit more than of a setup than just to have gut feeling and instinct is useful. But it's only part of the package, isn't it? It's got to look right as well. So look at this here. See, what I'm seeing here, I don't think that's a bad call. That we've sort of had a bit of sideways, we've broken out, we've come back and retested that. I would expect that to work, but it's not really an ideal setup, I don't suppose. But just what it looks like in a downtrend. We've had a good pull back to the EMA, nice big bearish bar. I would think that'd be worth a couple of points, but I think I've got about 10 ticks down at the moment. I think that probably be worth that, definitely. Let's have a look. Yeah. It's only really a first entry. Whether you call it a triple test, 1, 2, 3, maybe. Maybe. I think the useful thing about that is, as we've pushed up there, if you've gone long above there, it's triggered you and come down. So it's only really a first entry. You probably could say it's a triple test, but I'm just not a massive fan of it. I've seen a lot nicer triple tests than that. So that is coming down to here again. So that to me now looks like a valid channel. Now we're at these lows now. So what are we going to do? So it's definitely clearer on here. We're clearly ranging on the NQ as well. It was a little bit clearer than this. We had that quite strong push up. I just had this sideways at the moment. So I think it's just generally a range at the moment. We got that leg down there and another couple. Sometimes it comes down a bit cleaner, and other times it messes around a bit. It came back and messed around again before eventually it worked down. There was a failure there. I don't think that was a bad trade to go short actually on the NQ, because it's also a second entry long, and after the break and the new low, there's probably going to be some longs there. Which I think that bar there probably represented that one there, so maybe it was okay to go short there. I like the bar anyway. I like where it was. The general look of it I liked. So, is that an overshoot? I'd say lightly. And as we know, overshoots can result in a reversal, and what better place to reverse from these lows here? So let's just see how this works out. I'm happy to say that is an overshoot because we've got a really nice touch there and a bunch of nice touches there, and then it drops a little bit, and we're at the bottom here, so we know we've touched here multiple times, so hopefully it doesn't stop that bar out and maybe it gives us a higher low. But I am aware we're not quite at the bottoms on the NQ, so this could come lower. So I'm going to be a little bit careful about what I do, because if the NQ comes down to these lows, this could definitely come down a little further. Okay, so that did push up. I always wait for the higher low, really, because sometimes if you jump in there, it'll trigger you, stop you out, come down to it, and then push up anyway. There is a second entry short there. Actually, no, it hasn't formed. I would have liked to have seen that get trapped, but it's not bearish, really. But after that overshoot, whether we're going to come down a bit and retest this before we push up, but I think it's likely we are just ranging at the moment, and the way that's just broke below there and pushed up. In fact, I could probably take this down a little bit to maybe, I'm just looking left at the minute. There, and there. How's it felt there? Not too bad. So I'm not looking to go short here at the moment. It may come down somewhat, but after that bounce and these lows, I would have said you may get trapped there. It may come down a little bit, but I'm just staying out of this at the moment. And the way that's triggered and this is pushing up, then I'd still prefer a bigger break than this, really, if we're going to go higher. Okay, there's probably a few shorts there, stops there. We had a little bit of a pop there of about 1.5 or something, somewhere around about there. I'll just move this. It's gone too far, really. I want a little bit of a break here and then a push up. So second entry long down here somewhere for another leg up. Too congested. It needs to come further down for me. That body does. That the wick does. It is a second entry long, but I just don't like this. It might probably work, but I don't know how it's going to go. I prefer a little bit more of an attempt to retest this before I thought about going long. It's a bit too sideways for me. Pass my first eval today. Good for you, mate. Good on you. So stoked. What happens next with Apex? Okay, if you've passed it today, let me think. I usually get an email about 4 o'clock in the morning, so I'm guessing, depending on where you are in the US, you're going to get one probably late evening, and you'll get an email saying congratulations, and then you will. What you do, it's slightly different now. I'll show you. What you'll do is go into Apex, onto the Apex website, you'll log in and you'll go to signatures. So I will show you. So you'll log in, you'll click signatures, and you'll have one of these which will say, what does it say? It looked slightly different, and what you'll do is you'll sign it. So you'll click this button and you'll sign it, and then you go back to signatures again and you click payment link, and that will take you through to whether you want it to pay the monthly fee of $85, depending on obviously the monthly fee of $85, or the $140 if it's a 50,000 as a one-off payment. So, and then literally you're up and running. It takes minutes then. It's very quick. And you'll be up and running. I think when you do that, if I remember rightly, it's maybe 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes. Also, I don't, let me have a look. So yeah, you'll be right there, mate. If you get stuck, just drop me a message, and it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty straightforward. Also, don't trade anymore if you've passed. Yeah, don't trade the don't trade that account anymore. Anytime, mate. You're welcome. Good on you. I was so tired with that right-click stuff when placing an order. I bought the basic chart trader tools and follow indicators. It seems very good. Also, an execution drawing is very... Yeah, I have got a piece of software called One Click Trader, and all I do is I think I hold down the space bar and click the button, and it'll drop. I can set it to either limit orders or market orders. So all I do is I point the arrow to where I want. I hold click and just click the alt button. It drops an order there. So there are ways of doing it. Okay, that's done what I expected it to do. There wasn't really nothing that enticed me there. It looks like a bull bar, a bull flag. It is going up. That may have done, but it's a little bit sideways. So I'm happy to leave that. Anyone having trouble with rhythmic data this morning? Not me, but anybody else? I've been okay this morning. Well, I've been okay for a while, actually. I haven't had any problems for a while, so that is pushed right to where it needs to. So we've got a leg and a leg. Yeah, be all right. But that's the trick now. They've changed it. It used to be different. You used to have to follow a link to payment, but you just go into signatures. You're okay as well here, Chris. Yeah, just go into click on signatures, and then what you'll do is sign it, and then go back into signatures and look at the same, and it'll say payment link in there, and just follow that, and then you're up and running. It's pretty quick then, mate. And you're off and running there. Best of luck to you. Just take your time, relax, try not to stress too much. Don't beat yourself up if things feel a bit different or a bit tough. But just take your time. If you're not sure, just stay out. Just watch. It's all part of the trip. Yeah, but I've passed my first one. I thought I'd made it as a trader, and that lasted all of about half a day, I think. So it is part of the journey. It's all part of the journey. Penguin trades. What's he up to today? Wish Bitcoin would hurry up and push up again. Bought a load of Doge a few days ago. As soon as I did, it dropped 20%. That's not what you want, is it? Well, I say a load, about £200 worth. I think a load sounds quite a lot, doesn't it? Penguin trade. What are you looking at today? Yeah, we're coming to these tops, aren't we? Okay, whether that's an overshoot or not, I don't know. I mean, you can argue it's not really a channel, really. It's just two legs up. We've only really touched, mind you, I like the way that's touching there. And it fits nicer, but with the overshoot. So, are we going to have a correction before we push higher? Because we know there is some support along there. So whether it's just going to hit that support and maybe have other ideas. So I'll get rid of that. The midline is doing it for me. See, there is a possibility I could adjust that slightly. It's negligible, I think, there. I think it's bounced there because of the bottoms, but we could have a couple of legs up and it may come down and retest this level. I don't think that's really a channel, is it? It's just two legs, I think. So we've had a channel break and a new high. So I'm not really thinking about a bigger channel there. I don't think there is really. I'd say this is probably likely me going to come down and retest this level. I would have suggested, but I may be wrong. Tested Top Step X, not me, bud, not me. When you say platform, I thought Top Step was a prop firm, isn't it? Or is Top Step and Top Step X something different? two pushes up and a bearish bar. Is that pushing down? Looks like it might be. Okay, I wasn't a massive fan of that. We got a leg down, two little pushes up and a bearish bar, but I just don't like this. It's a little bit congested. Okay, that makes sense. And I'm going to say, I read that and I just thought, Top Step X platform. I say, gotcha. Okay, NQ, there is a second entry long. Is that triggered? It hasn't just yet. Leg, two legs back. Excuse me a sec. Triple test, I think. I'm just looking at this. We've got a second entry long which is triggered close to the highs on the NQ. Is this going to come down below there and work its way down? Unfortunately, if that would have been a nice bearish bar closing, I may have had a go at that leg down. 1, 2, 3 attempts to go higher, but it was more slightly on the bullish nature. But or is it holding? What happens if you blow up a PA account after a payment was approved? Doesn't matter, mate. As long as it says approve, you're okay. No, they've said that on multiple times. I've heard that come out of Daryl Martin's mouth. As long as you've had an email to say it's been approved, or it's on the website when you log in that it says it's approved, you're okay. It doesn't matter. I've heard that question been answered a dozen times. See a channel. Let's have a look. You're on about channel and channel, are you? Oh, you're on about from here. Yeah, Mac never ever talks about that, but I can't see why you wouldn't use it. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah, well, there must be something in there, mustn't there? Soon find out, see what it does here, but yeah, I agree. PA balance. Okay, so the money's already come off the balance, isn't it? Yeah? Yeah. Your money's come off the balance anyway. It usually does that pretty shortly after when you've... so you're fine, mate. You're fine. It's come off, so you're fine. Yeah, good to go, mate. I always tend to wait for it to come off anyway, but I've heard the question answered multiple times, and I've heard Daryl Martin say it and other people from Apex say it loads of times. Once it says approved, it doesn't matter. He quit doing it 5 years. Oh, so he used to. Mind you, if you look at some of his old videos, he uses 2 or 3 ticks below the signal bar on quite a lot of times. So he's definitely changed, isn't he? Changed the way. But I suppose that's what happens. You develop over the years, don't you? 1, 2, 3. Is this the triple test? You develop over the years. You just change and improve, and you learn. And I suppose it's like anything. If you sit and watch these charts every day, you'll automatically develop and change as that. You can't help not, really, can you? That's my theory, anyway. If the market changes slowly, your eyes change, don't they? As you're seeing it, and you know, we're seeing this and making, you know, hundreds of little sort of calculations in our brain. And if this starts to change, see, what we're studying really is human behaviour. So if you sit and watch human beings enough, you'll start to figure out what they're going to do next. But there's always the exception. Maybe one psychopathic wife. I haven't got one, fortunately. But no, I think it is just human behaviour. We're figuring out what human beings are going to do when price gets down to here. They're going to be looking left and going, well, what did it do last time? So, and as human beings start to change, you'll start to be aware of it, and you'll start to figure out what's going on, won't you? So maybe there was a channel there with an overshoot, and it had a correction, and now we're pushing up. It's hard to say at the moment, isn't it? See, if we did have that bigger channel, is that where it would bounce, is it? So if it was around about there, something like that. Definitely something in it, isn't it? We're not the only people looking at this chart. Other people are, because look what happens when it gets to the line. So look at that. I mean, all right, I'll tell you what, let's make it easier. Let's just push that off and just connect the dots. So, highs of the day, highs of the day, touch. Is this going to come out? So we've got a channel down here with a break. So, probably expect to make a new low. And we bounced here, maybe because of the bottoms of the range, but maybe... because of the bottoms of the range, partial. Well, I suppose it could have been because of that, couldn't it? Let's see what happens here. Overshooting a correction. Are we still going to go up? Looking on the NQ, we've got 3 tops here. Now, there's quite likely, I would have said, going to be some... With that lower high there, nice big bearish bar, there's probably going to be some short stops here. And with the failure, trapping more longs, there's probably going to be here as well. So, whether we push up and sort of grab them stops, I'm not sure. If we come down based on, 3 attempts to go higher, then there may be a second entry short there. If we can get a lower high below, let's just remove that. See, that really could just be a fail breakout. We come up here once, come up here again. We'll soon find out what's going to happen. See, it's trying to work out what price is doing, isn't it? At the moment, we're ranging, but obviously as we go sideways, we still have, times where we're going down and up. So it's trying to manage uptrends and downtrends while it's ranging, isn't it? So it's trying to figure out what it's doing. Is this just a break, and are we going to make a new low, or does this really not matter? I think channels are secondary to ranges, aren't they? Because we've come down here at this level and we've clearly bounced, so whether that's because of the range or we're having a break of the channel, I don't know, who knows. But it's not easy, this business, is it? It is trying to work out what the hell's going on, and then if we can work out where it's going, when we get a setup, having the confidence to believe that you're making a right decision, there's quite a lot going on there, isn't there? It does. I think I was chatting to Marco a couple of weeks ago, and I was just interested in how long people traded for. Some people said they traded for 7 hours. I know Marco said he's like a zombie after 3 hours. So there is a lot of concentration, isn't there, and a lot of that sort of brain power stuff going on in the background. So we've come up, we've bounced off this once and we've bounced off it again. So what I'm seeing here, leg up, second entry long, you would think that would be going up. But we do seem to have a slightly bearish feel to it. Or am I just, is that what I'm thinking? I mean, we got to touch, we got to touch, and we got to touch. Is it going to bounce off this, trap some longs again, or is it going to push up? It's starting to look like a bull flag. So what I'm, based on this, you would think it would push up, but we shall see. Same again, it's closed below that line. So are we going to push up or are we going to come down? It's hard to say at the moment because it's, I think, it's more likely just ranging really, isn't it? Okay, let's remove that for the time being. So there's an overshoot with a correction. Now after an uptrend and an overshoot and a correction, a lot of times we continue on. We had a push up, made one attempt to go lower, second attempt to go lower. Also a second entry long and it's moving. But how long for? We know there's a little bit of support along there. We noticed it as we were getting close to it there. Are we going to do the same thing or are we just going to smash straight through it? Because also, coming to the tops of this range, it's a little bit more clear on the NQs that it's ranging. And we're coming to these tops. We've got maybe a little channel there with a break, 2 legs back and two legs up. So that to me looks a little bit clearer than this. This is a bit just odd, isn't it? So we've got a channel, we've got a break, 2 legs of correction, nice big bullish bar, and then a high low and off it goes. Clearly breaks these highs and we're at the top now. So what's going to happen? Is this going to continue on? Are we going to have a leg and a leg? We may do. And if we do have a leg and a leg and get up here, this is going to take us to this level. So yeah, it's more just rangy, I think, isn't it? So we got whether that's a channel and overshoot. Regardless of that, it's acted the way overshoots usually do, whereas we had quick steep pullback and a bit of a correction. We got a leg down, a few attempts to go higher, and another leg down, and now we seem to be off again. So let's see whether we're breaking above this, whether this fails or not. Yeah, it is interesting going back over some of Mac's older videos. He did a counter trend trade. It was a big channel up like this. Big channel up. And he took a short right from here. In other words, he picked a top. What he tells us now is the worst decision to make. So it just goes to show people change. But yeah, he took a counter trend trade. And he took one down here where he moved his stop to about 3 ticks below the signal bar. It ticked out the signal bar and then moved up. So, and I think they get back about 12 and a half years, I think, Mac's older videos. But it's interesting to watch. So if you're bored one evening, just go onto his videos and click oldest and just flick through until you can see. Because he did quite a few more. He recorded a lot more live trades back then. But you can definitely see the difference with price now. I mean, this one, he had it 3 ticks below the signal bar and it was still only 2 points. 2 points of risk. Things are different nowadays. I mean, the ATR is 2.7, so realistically, a tick above, tick below, you're talking around about 3.25 points on average. So it's nearly double what it used to average, going back, I don't know how far, but certainly from what I can see off his videos, around about 10 to 12 years ago. Okay, so channel down there, 1 attempt to go higher, 2nd attempt to go higher. We've pushed down through that EMA, so what are we going to do now? Continue up or come back down? So that breakout clearly failed. So not sure about that. So there is a lower high there, but there is some support there, so quite a bit actually. Do I really want to go short into that? But then we've got what could be a channel with a break, so that could push up and make a new high. So what I will say is there's definitely an area where we seem to be holding. So at the moment, I don't really know what's going on. We're going up and down. So are we now going to come down and retest these? So we've had this channel down, we've had a break out of it, we've come back, we've made another attempt to go high, and we've hit this area where there's a little bit of support. Are we now coming back down to these? Who the hell knows? TOC, have you sorted your rhythmic issues out yet? Are you in, or is it still causing a problem? If you want, I can just nip onto the Discord, on the Apex Discord, and see if anybody else is having any problems. Let me know if you want me to. So we've had this channel, we've had a break in the way of a correction, we've had two pushes up to a new high bearish bar, it's had a nice push down, and we're coming back. Are we retesting, or are we continuing on that? Let me just see if there's anything here that I'm missing. There may be a spike and a channel. But we've pushed up here and a big bearish bar, so that's, I'd say, rejection from this upper side. So I would suggest we're going to get another leg down here, and by the looks of that bearish bar, I'd say we're going to, unfortunately, we're right at this support area at the moment. So leg and a leg. Okay. Is that a channel? Maybe. We got the Bitcoin halving on Friday, Saturday, I think. What day is it? Is it the 20th? What day is the 20th? Saturday, that'll be interesting to see what happens to crypto. Okay, so let's see if we come down some more. Second entry, sure. Be nice to retest this line here. We need to get up a bit higher. Don't come down yet. One, two, three, triple test maybe. I don't know. Interesting. Big bullish bar on that downtrend, which is triggered. Just too far for that EMA, really, to go short there. Nice channel there, definitely a two-tiered channel. You can see it clearly working, that bottom tier. Really nice there. Oh, and an overshoot. Are we going to do the same as we did here? Have a bounce? Interesting. Let's have a look. Still a bit too far off there, in all fairness. In fact, not convinced that is an overshoot. It's negligible, that, I think. Big bearish bar. Let's see what happens when this triggers. Bound to stop that out, isn't it? Bound to. Ooh, there we go. Straight push down. Now let's see what happens. We're going to get this measured leg. We may well do. Leg. 2 legs of correction. So, could this come down in the NQ? So we've had a breakout of this. Let me just check. In fact, you could extend that. Where's that likely to go? It's clearly struggling at the midline. That come down lower. Where did it come before? We had a decent pullback and then eventually came down. So we could get the same. So there is a higher low there. My slight concern is we have two legs up and come down further. It's hard to know whether it's going to break below this range again or not. Yeah, so it traps some longs. You get longs taking the higher low from the bottom there, triggers you, goes up half a point, 3/4 of a point, comes down, stops you out. It's annoying, really, isn't it? Clearly ranged, aren't we? So ordinarily you'd be buying from here, but that is quite a tight looking channel. So I expect that to come down, I think. I did consider that one there, but it came down quick before I had a chance. It is a second entry short. Now, ordinarily, I like it much up there, but it's a two-tier channel. It's fitting really nice there. We've had a couple of pushes up, trapped some longs there, and then had another push down. So that would have worked nice and quickly, that was. Okay, we're right at the lows of the day there. We're still a ways off on that NQ. That looks like it's fit in there, so that may come down further yet. So if we can get a second entry short and retest this, I may look for a short there because that's come down. If we can get a nice second entry under here, I think it's likely to come down lower there. That NQ certainly could, that's for certain. Okay, nice channel on the NQ. I wouldn't consider that a break, really. I don't think it is. I mean, it may have done, but for me, it's just coming back. I'd still expect that to continue on down. There. To sort of this area here. Oh, There is some support there. There, you can see it a couple of times there. I do love where that is, but it's only a first entry, unfortunately. If we can get a lower high, which we may, then I may get in that. Let's have a look. I do like the fact that it's tested that underside, so as a first entry it may be reliable, but it is just that, a first entry, so I don't take them as a rule. I mean, we're right back at the EMA on the NQ, so it may work, but they are more risky. Let's see what happens here. If we break above this and get a lower high. There we go. Let's see how this goes. I want it to go a little bit higher first. I'd like it to touch that line in an ideal world. Trouble is as well, it could be a breakout that fails and it pushes in. So let's see what happens here. Okay, that's just too congested for me, that is. Now, is it going to work? Probably. But it's just a bit congested for me. That makes it a bit riskier, so I'm staying out of this. I don't like the fact that we've got some bottoms there. That could trigger you and sting you. It is a second entry short. It's a little bit too far from that EMA, and I don't like that little bit of build up there. That's a bit that's concerning me. You could get stitched up here. This is coming down on the NQ. But I just, that makes it a little bit risky the way that's popping up there. There's a failure there, so... Order submitted. Take that on that engulfing bar. Let's have a look. It's going to be a big ass risk, that is. That's the problem. No, there's something about this I don't like. Order cancelled. So I am sitting tight. I want to get a bit closer to this line, really. A lower high on the NQ would look even better. So if you did take that lower high, trigger just stopped you out. Horrible market. So I want a few touches on here, really. That's the trouble, because it's a range as well. It could fail. That breakout could come back in. At the moment, we're still under the EMA on the NQ, so this could still come down, and if it does, we just may have two legs, and this might finish bearish, so we'll see. It's not over yet. I have my own downtrend drawn super tight. Showing a break and already a new low. I mean, I'm definitely saying it's a range anyway. So, I mean, if I go from the top there, I'm touching there, and I'm touching there, close enough anyway, and it's fitting nice and tight down there. So, it's hard to say, really, isn't it? What I like about this is this stuff here is working in this bottom tier. That's what I like about it. But, I mean, we may not get a new low simply because it's ranging as well. And as we know, most breakouts fail. So, I actually kind of like that. I like it, especially because it's working in that bottom tier quite tightly. We've got a touch there, touch there. I'm not sure about... depends Depends where you draw it. You might go from here, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't bet money on it coming down here anyway, purely and simply because obviously you can see we got such a lot of areas where we've bounced, and we've already been down to a tick off the lows of the day, so it had to be a good setup, to be honest with you, and it would have to look viable on the NQ, really. I mean, we could come down further on the NQ, that's for certain. Could be a couple of legs up, we could come down. So this still may come down, or it might just retest the EMA and push up. It's hard to say at the moment. That's the trouble. These markets, that they're not as clear. I'm looking back a couple of years and things seemed a lot clearer. Sometimes I was more confident in taking trades 18 months ago than I am now. Let's have a look. So let's just pick the NQ. So we've come down here in this nice channel, yeah? Now, the previous times we've been here before, we bounced there, we broke below it there and below it there. So I think there's a good chance this could come down. So, if we go from here to here to here, you could say that may be a small break. I don't know. It's hard to say, really. I see Mac a lot of the times drawing lines through bars and not mentioning them lately. Whether it's just me or not, I don't know. So there is a possibility of having two legs and it could work down, but I wouldn't bet on anything at the moment. So yeah, this market's got a mind of its own sometimes, and it just decides what it wants to do. I mean, that was fitting nice and tight, especially this bottom part as well. You don't often see that lately, do we, in a channel that thick? That's usually these wider ones that they tend to work in the tiers a bit more, but look how tight that's working. Really nicely. Then we had two legs up and then it dropped some more. But yeah, I don't know at the moment. I mean, we're clearly going sideways currently. That could probably even come down now. Let's see where that finishes. Let's put that somewhere around about there and bring that down to the top. So clearly ranging at the moment, and obviously with channels within the ranges. You see there was a second entry long there. Trouble is, I just don't like where it's sitting there. And it's a bit below the EMA, so there's always that possibility you could get it could trigger and come down. And it is a little bit congested, isn't it? You're done. 21 scalps? You must be seeing something I'm not. Good on you, mate. Good on you. That's what you want, 21 scalps. You sound rich, mate, you do. I notice what's it's ordered is 911, isn't he? I got out of those cars a few years ago. I'm more about luxury now, I think. I tend to like the Range Rover Velars. I do. I'm more of a 4x4 thing, and the Jaguar F-Paces as well. I kind of like those. I don't know if I'd go to a sports car if I ever started making a lot of money. I doubt I'd go to a 911. Maybe 10 or 15 years ago, but yeah, the Alpine Trader he's ordered his 911. Comes in July, I think. So. Anybody's making money out of this business, he's got my vote. Good on him. Okay, so channel, little overshoot, and now what are we going to do? Is this just going to create a correction and go higher, or is it going to come down? I am on the fence as to whether this has got a bearish bias at the moment. I mean, if you look back to here, this was a little bit lower, this was a little bit lower, and the top's a touch as well. So there may be ever so slight a bearish imbalance, but it might not. We might just get a correction. It might go up, or it could come lower and and possibly finish off this measured leg. Yeah, you too, buddy. What strategy? The strange thing is, he won't tell anybody. He won't tell you what his strategy is. So I'm surprised so many people sit and watch him. Because people have asked him before, but he said he doesn't think that Apex will like it. And I'm thinking, it's, no disrespect to the guy, but it sounds like a load of rubbish. Why would, if he's making regular 40 grand a month, what does it matter what your strategy is? It's whatever strategy is, it's clearly working. I'm testing my old 22 target range. 22 range went nice today. Yeah, good on you, mate. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he won't tell people. He doesn't think Apex will like it. It doesn't really make much sense to me. If he's making money, if he's doing something on that chart and he's making consistent 40 grand, as far as I'm concerned, the guy's got a gift. Doesn't matter how he's making it, really. It's a strategy. There's a million different ways to make money out of the markets, but he seems to think his won't be liked. He doesn't trade the news, he just trades the open, so it doesn't really make sense to me. Put it this way. What I will say is, he makes his money before the market opens. Sorry, before he streams. But I've heard him say he tries to trade throughout the stream because he doesn't want to make the stream boring. Now, my question is, why the hell would you stream when you've done your work and you're making $40,000 plus a month at the market open? Why don't you go and enjoy your money? It doesn't seem to make much sense. And then sometimes he'll trade setups that he's not really good at, and he'll lose accounts. It just doesn't make much sense. If you want to make your stream interesting and you want to get a lot of people following you, then show people your strategy. I'll tell you something, if he's making a lot of money, people will pay $100 plus a month to watch him trade or to know what that strategy is. So if somebody's really good at something, people will pay to watch you. I was in a chat with him a long time ago. I know he used to buy, touch on support of uptrends, vice versa with downtrend. Yeah, somebody told me he uses OCO orders at the open. I don't know how true it is. And from what I understand, I'm not using myself, but my understanding of it is, isn't it a long and a short above a certain area? And if it hits the long, it automatically cancels the short and vice versa. So I don't quite know, but I wish you would show people. I'd watch him myself. But, I think people maybe forget these strategies, that they may be really effective and he may be really good at them, but no strategy, in my opinion, takes minutes to follow and to be able to do. It's certainly quicker if you understand, what price is doing and understand the markets. That sounds like opening range breaks. Yeah, I'm not really sure, but I don't know why he won't show people. He seems to think that Apex won't like his strategy. What does it matter? If somebody's making £40,000 plus dollars a plus per month, as far as I'm concerned, you're good on them. Why would Apex have any issues with that? If Apex was sensible, which they probably are, they'd be copying his trades, wouldn't they? I think Apex would want to know what he's doing. It's not a lot of people make that sort of money on Apex's books. I'd be surprised. It was a very, very small amount of people. And those people that can, surely you want to know what they're doing and copy what they're doing. So, is that an overshoot or are we going to push up? Let me have a look at this. So, touch. There may be a small break there. This may be pushing up. Or it may have a couple of legs, a little bit of sideways and come back down. So, that is an overshoot, I think. So, are we going to get a lower high and retest these levels? I'm a bit unsure at the moment. See, there is a higher low on the NQ. We've got a leg and a leg up, pull back to the EMA. Price is holding Sorry, the EMA is holding price at the moment, but it is still a little bit choppy, so it could go up or down. But I have a feeling we haven't seen the bottom at the moment here, purely and simply because of this channel, and we haven't been down to this level at all. So there's a bit of a gap, I think, that needs filling. I might be completely wrong, but there again, it's holding price. My gut feeling is this is going to come down lower than here, but it's just a feeling. I certainly wouldn't put money on it. I'm not that confident. There is a lower high there that's triggered. Is it going to hold? What I found is if this stays bullish, 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 as soon as we get down to the close of that and we've spent a chunk of it bullish, in a lot of cases it drops bearish. Let's see what happens. So it's bullish, bullish, bullish at the moment. And as that runs out, we're getting close to it. Look what's happening. I noticed that quite a lot. So, maybe a triple test, maybe second entry short. Trouble is, it's still a bit congested, and I really wouldn't want to go short into that EMA just yet. I'd rather it break lower and then give us a lower high. So there is a second entry short there. I would rather be a little bit more patient and wait for a triple test. So channel down, one attempt to go higher, although it's 2 bars, and a second attempt. I would prefer a third attempt really before we come down, or before I think about going short. I would suggest after this overshoot that we may get a leg and a leg, which should take us down to these lows. Go away. Let's put that there. I'm pretty sure it's an overshoot. So I'd rather not get caught going short here again because it is a bit congested. I'd like it to break above this. A lot of times I'd have taken that one. I did something the other day and it ticked above it and came down. Fortunately, I had the good sense to give myself an extra a tick. Leg and a leg. I'd still like another go at this, or at least now where's it going to come? Test the lows, break the lows, or just 2 legs, or a correction, then up we go again. Not really sure at the moment. So whether that is a small break or not, I'm not convinced, because I can micro adjust that to fit there, and it's barely out, isn't it? A corner of it. So 2 legs up, a bit of sideways. Sideways. My daughter keeps correcting me. Sideways. I would like to know what he does, Brown, though. It'd certainly be interesting. Trouble is, just because he's making money out of it doesn't necessarily mean it's easy, does it? You know, I think sometimes when people have been trading a while, they can make things look easy, and it's not always the case. You know, one thing I've come to the conclusion, there's definitely no magic bullet. Second entry long, second entry short, yeah. Now, I've taken trades like that before, and it's come up, triggered it, it did the other day, triggered it out, stopped me out by 1 stop, although I added an extra tick in it. And then it'll push above and then give a bigger bearish bar. And sometimes I find myself getting in a little bit too soon, and if I sit patiently, sometimes I get a better opportunity, but I'm just not sure about that at the moment. Let's see, I'm pretty sure it's made 2 points anyway, isn't it? Maybe not quite. This bit concerns me. Take the lower high, that one there. It hasn't triggered anyway, and to be fair, that's 2. See what I mean about this? Sometimes it stops something out. It never triggered anyway, that one, but that one is even more risky than that one. If I'm going to take a trade, I'd rather have my stop up here in a safer place than here. There's a lower high. See how it forms. I prefer to get up here, stop some of these out, and then have a bigger bearish bar. Or are you on about a lower high on the NQ, are you, Blue? So I would suggest what I'm seeing now is this is likely going to come down and make a new low from here. And if it does, I think that low will get broken as well. Sideways now, yeah. Never triggered, yeah, never triggered. It's trying to hold, isn't it? Let's get rid of this. I know where the bottom is anyway. Second entry long, possibly there. Have I got this all wrong? Is this a correction? And are we now pushing up? We could do. We could have the same here. Certainly struggling to come down and trying to push up. So are we going to push up, take out 1, 2 stops, and then just have a correction and that we go? Or are we going to trip some shorts? Oh, I'm not so sure. I think we make them above this. As I say, if I was going to take a triple test, I would prefer something to break above this and then come down bearish. But I'm not so sure now whether we're going to push up. I would have suggested, though, those stops will get eaten up. They're too good to be true, I think. So drop down sideways. Maybe we are going to continue on up. This just may be a bit of a correction before we push higher. This okay, so up by 1 tick. Now let's see if this comes bearish. I'm not so sure now. Leg down, maybe 2 attempts to go higher. Could be pushing up. See if I bring that over and fit it tightly there and to the top. It is an overshoot. Now, overshoots usually like correction or full out reversal. Sometimes they'll just pull back, push up, make a new high, and then drop. I tend to notice them just correct a little bit more. 2 attempts back before we continue on up. So this may just continue on up. It's hard to say at the moment because we haven't broken above this lot on the NQ, so it may just have a couple of tests before it drops. But this, for me, I think is probably likely going to break that highs, break those the highs of those bars. Or is it just going to trap longs and then come down? Could always do that. 1, 2, 3, triple test. Taking the stops out, bearish bar, down we come. I'm not so sure. It's gone a bit too far for me. Oh, there we go. It never triggered anyway. And your new thumbnail threw me off today. That was the plan. to weed you out. No, someone, I think what was it? I think the other one I had was a little bit too, what was the word I used? A little bit too spotty teenage hacker stuck in his mum's basement, I think. I think I needed to grow up, so I got something that looks a little bit more, well, grown up, I think. Rather than the sort of the Dark Lord type of looking. Yeah, I've still got the same little the little UK futures trade and the little British flag at the top right. So I haven't completely left you in the dark. I left clues there anyway, so you could find your way. But yeah, it's just a little bit more brighter, isn't it? So what are we doing here? This same again is hit this top and then dropped bearish. It's trapped along a green bar, but push up, maybe a correction and up again. I think this, I'd say what I'm seeing here, this is more likely to go up, but I might be wrong. Let's put that like that. Maybe. I mean, from the channel, we haven't come down to the low, so I don't know. Bit hard to read today. Some days this is really easy to read, other days it's quite hard. So this is breaking above this now, yeah, so leg up, sort of a couple of legs back, leg in a leg, and then up we go. So, okay, so is that an overshoot? Probably still is, but we've had a little bit of a correction, haven't we? And then a new high eventually. So that second entry long may not have been a terrible trade, but I'm just a bit unsure at the moment, or I was at the time. Okay, folks, I'm going to be going an hour and 40 minutes. I'm just going to take a quick look at this. We've had that push out, trap some longs, and we're coming down. Is this just a higher low or a failure? I don't know. I'm not sure at the moment. I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break, make a cup of tea, and I will be back. Okay. Well, just out of curiosity. Oh, no, it's all right. Doesn't matter. That's better. Mr. Lance. Hey, Travis. How you doing, buddy? How you doing? Mo's in the house. Is there something larger there? I'm not so sure, actually. I'm not so sure. I don't know what's going on here. I do wonder whether we're still going to come down and retest this area down here. Doesn't seem to be pushing up in a hurry, does it? Possible. That NQ, there is a good strong push up from there. Is that going to continue up, I wonder? We got a touch, a couple of touches here, and a quick push up from there. Does that mean we're moving on up? Maybe we are. Maybe so. Don't like that. First entry, unfortunately. There's not a lot I can really do there. Hasn't formed anyway. There and there. Sorry about that. Maybe. It's just something like that. Not sure. Here is how I see the market today. Go on then, bud. Liquidity that pushed the price to the downside yesterday is still there. Today it appears anytime price could go up, then potential target 5050 down here. There are two scenarios. First, price breaks low and goes to 50.50. Second, we're still in a range between 75 and 120. Yeah, there is a slight bearish feel to it, isn't there? So I won't be surprised if we did get lower. You're with the second scenario until the news comes up. Generally, short entries will be low risk. Yeah, I agree with that. There is a slightly sort of bearish feel to it, isn't there? If you look up here, this level, then we're down a little bit more, then we're down a little bit more. Same with the tops. We are struggling to get up, aren't we? There's no arguing there. It could go up, but it's not steep enough. It's just, it doesn't seem to be, it just doesn't seem like there's enough buyers really to continue this up. It's struggling. We push up, we come back a little bit, we try again, we have a break, we try again, then drop. It's trying, but I'm just not a fan of that. Let's look at the NQ. So the NQ, we didn't come down as low. I was surprised. I was thinking that we were going to bounce here and then come down to lower down on here. But we are coming up to these highs now, so it may turn. Sorry if you can hear me chewing. Just got some, just chewing on some almonds. How far above that measured leg are we? We're actually on it, aren't we? Hard to read today. Well, it's once you start pushing down here, we don't even come close to the EMA until here. We push up, but no setups there. Choppy. We push up, but choppy. The only one I think I would have taken is that one. Unfortunately, I wasn't here. Channel up, nice correction. Strong push up, high low, up to test these highs. I would have definitely taken that one. Is there anything else? That one doesn't look terrible. That was kind of a triple test. 2, 3, maybe trapping some longs and then down. Nothing in there really. Break. I did look at that. We got kind of one push up, second push up, and it held. I just don't like these little bars here. Although it came down, but not for a lot. But then we came back, didn't break the top and come lower. Anything here? I was hoping we were going to get a bit closer, but that's just way too far and way too close to the bottom of this range, really. Same again with that one, but it just continued down, and that one, as soon as we had a bearish bar with a bit of a tail on it, down it came again. Second entry short there. At the time, I think I had that bottom of that range up to this level, so that didn't really interest me. See, you know, Mac will tell us we can mark trades off the key entry point. I tend to, my most favourite key entry point, really, where I like to be, is at that EMA. If the EMA and the trend channel happen to meet, you know, it's like the perfect storm, even better. But I just get nervous about taking them that close to the, away from the EMA. Sorry, that far away from the EMA. That one, I think I'd drawn this one as a slight overshoot, if I remember. Only slightly, but we're at the bottoms again. We pushed up, and that looked to me like a little bit of a bull flag. well, if you'd have taken that one, or that one, it would have worked. I'd have preferred another one down here that came down at the bottom, then it may have interested me, but there was that one, but it's just a bit too far from the EMA, really. I'd rather have a little bit of tail below it. Okay, we're bouncing off the top here of this. This is interesting. Now, we've been up here before. There, and there. And each time we've come back down. I'd like to get a bit further above them now. I'd like to... That short there is triggered, I think, isn't it? Yeah, I'd like to see that break out, get stopped out, really. I'm just not sure I even like that channel. So we've had a channel with a correction. That might be a little bit better. Okay, we are. So that one, I sent it back towards EMA on their NQ. Nice lower high off the top as well there. Come down a little bit further though. Okay, so we've come off the top on the NQ, bearish bar, lower high, which is triggered. And it's bounced off here. Is that going to trigger and come down some more? Has it yet? No, it has. Let's see what happens here. Got a channel there with a break. I mean, it's pushing off quite strong off there, isn't it? But unfortunately, it's only a first entry. Not only that, we've got a channel with a break. I won't want to go long there. I'd rather it make a new low, really, but that second entry long is triggered. And this, to me, I would have suggested if coming back in from these range highs, is probably going to come lower. So I wouldn't expect the stop there for that second entry long to hold. And if that's the case, it does come lower. Then we may get something further down here. It's hard to read today. There's not a lot of setups around. It's pretty much stayed right the way away from that EMA from, what time was that? About 20 past 3. For like sort of 30 minutes, stayed away from it there. Now, is that another trap? Sometimes I've noticed it does that. Teases you in. If you don't take it in, it gives you another bullish bar and then says, come on, follow me. We've got 2 bars now. And all of a sudden it drops. Takes out both of them. Looks to me like it's sucking in longs, that does. If you don't get it on the first one, it gives you a second offer. Come on, follow me. And then all of a sudden you think, okay, we've got 2 bars now looking good. Let's jump in, and sometimes then it just triggers you and comes down. Channel with a break. We've bounced off support here. Is this coming down? Which means those stops will go. It might not, might hold, but I see this quite a bit. It just teases you in. So are we getting a leg and a leg? I think I actually prefer that. In which case, leg and a leg. Which means that stop, those stops are going to get taken out. And there's also a failure there, which is triggered. Ooh. Second entry short there. Trouble is we're moving up at the moment, so I think in all good conscience I can't take that. Second entry short. I mean, we've made what? This is likely going to break below these two bars here anyway, so it's too big anyway, that bar now. It's hard to read today. There's a lot of, it's quite choppy. Channel break, new low, push up. It's slowing down now, isn't it? You may, excuse me, have taken a triple test off there. 1, 2, 3. Slight concern is if this is the tops of the channels, we haven't got very far up. So, yeah, I looked at that one, but you haven't got much room to those highs. I just don't like it. If this is a channel, we just seem to be getting further and further away from this. If that's the case, I mean, you could probably really discount that actually. Maybe just take it from here. Might not be a bad call. We're so close to the highs there, there's not much space left really. I wouldn't feel confident in going there. So if you take it a tick above there, you've got like 0.25 point. It's got to push through, so it's beginning to point up to those highs. Now it did go higher, but I don't know if I'm going to take a trade in here. I want it to be at least close to that EMA or closer down here. For that, to me, really, it's just a bit too far ahead in the game, really, to feel confident in taking that. Although we are sort of moving up, I am aware that we've bounced off these tops, and we did here. We bounced off, we came back and retested them and dropped. Same here, we pushed out, we came back, retested them and dropped. So we're making an attempt to push higher, and it is struggling, so I wouldn't be surprised if this came tumbling down. In fact, I'd probably expect it to. Touch. It's a bit too wide and not steep enough, I think. Let me just see if I can figure this out a little bit better. Yeah, I would suggest there may have been a slight break there. I'm just trying to give this the option to just move down. So if we have had a slight break and we've got 1-2 pushes up, we're getting very close to these tops here where I think it's likely to get rejected again. Although I may be wrong, we didn't come right down to the bottom, so there is a possibility, but I wouldn't be going long here, put it this way. This is a place to go short, I would have suggested. So how far this is going to go up, I don't know, but I'd say we may have had a small break. 2 pushes up to a new high. So it's quite hard today. There's a lot of this stuff, you know, pushing down, a lot of chop. Same again, sideways and chop. Lots of it. We had a load there. You could see it there. It's everywhere. Push, chop, push, chop, push, chop. And the trouble is when it's doing like that, it's a bit hard to read. Oh, excuse me. Okay, we're out the top again. Now let's see what happens. Yeah, it's clearly ranging, but there are channels, but it's not the easiest to trade this, really. Interesting. Okay, we broke the highs of the day there. With an overshoot on the ES, clear overshoot. That's tempting. Tempting, but you don't know whether it's going to trigger you, come back and break these highs and retest it before it comes down. Sometimes it'll do that. In an overshoot, it'll come down, bounce, and then have a correction or something. So I just wasn't a massive fan of it. What was the risk? Tick above, tick below. It was around about. So 3 3/4 points, something like that. It's gone really slow now, isn't it? I hate this part of the day.
Fire sweep and
It's frustrating. Whenever we tend to get a break from this, we just pull back, push up. We don't seem to get legs anymore. I think it's likely we're going to get up to these highs. There's a ton of liquidity around about the 11, which is just above here. So I think it's likely we're going to go up to that level. Well, it might be a blank day today for me. 10 more minutes and I'm done, I think. I like to finish around about the 5:30 UK time. It's been a funny old day today. It's been quite a lot of chop. A lot of this sort of stuff. sort of is a higher low. I just don't like it. I don't like this. There's not much room to the highs. Is it going to go up? Probably, but it could have two legs back. Retest the midline, taking that out. I'm just not a fan of it. And not only that, well, there's no room to these highs, is there? And it's what, just under 4 points as it is. I ain't finished yet. Yeah, I'm not getting involved in that. It's a lot of risk. 4 points, tick above, tick below. I'm not risking $450 times 3. Based on that, it needs to be a better looking setup to get me involved there. Okay, so a quick look at this NQ. We are slowly working up, but it's just ranging as well. We've had this breakout which has failed monumentally, and we've had another bunch of pushes up, and it's struggling to get up again. So I think this is likely retesting this, and it's more than likely going to come back down. So I don't like the price today. There's been a lot of this sideways chop. It's quite slow at the moment, so there's probably going to be a few people trying to go long there, so I wouldn't be surprised if this thing has a bit of a tumble. Maybe a leg and a leg. I don't know, but I'm just not getting long here. It's really struggling to get up, and when it does that, a lot of the times it will have a quick drop and clean out the cobwebs, and I have a feeling it's going to do the same. That bar never triggered anyway, so whether you just buy that or not, I don't know, but it's just not worth it. Yeah, a bit of a slow, boring day today. Not a hell of a lot of setups around, nothing I can really see, with the exception of what happened to your other two accounts. That's a good question, mate. No, I didn't. That was a story, mate. It happened early hours of yesterday morning. I did an evaluation, took a stupid risk, and it all went to shit. So I've had to do a little bit of soul searching. I've set some plans out now. A lot of the times after hours, I trade. It's that urge to come back. So I've had to stop now. So I sort of sat down with my wife and wrote a trading plan which I need to adhere to. So my trade's now between 2 and 6 p.m. After that, it gets shut down. It doesn't get opened again. It just never comes well when it's that urge to want to come back and make some money. And no, it's okay, mate. Don't worry. But it's that urge to come back and try and make some money. And it just doesn't seem to go well. So I've got to start, instead of looking at this like a learning process where I try a few things, take a few risks, have a play around, to now this is a business and I need to start taking this a little bit more seriously and not take stupid risks with accounts that cost money and time to sort of get. So I've got a process now which I sort of follow. I'm journaling as well. I write down the day, and just something that I sign myself for my own sort of peace of mind, really. Something I follow, and I have a sort of target to do it for a month. Just I've not picked massive rules, but just trading between 2 and 6. After that, it's finished. I'm not putting any more evaluations in now until I can either get a payout. I keep carelessly throwing money at it, carelessly. And that's what frustrates me, and that leads to making silly errors with my P accounts. My P accounts really my bread and butter. I need to start protecting them. So I've just got a few rules to follow, which I adhere to and sign at the end of the day, and journal as well on the day, how it went. Did I follow the rules? And I just want to start sticking to what I say I'm going to do for once, instead of just taking stupid risks. So yeah, that's what happened with those two. So, I've thought about it, made a few new rules, and you just got to move on, haven't you? And just, stick to the rules. But so there you go. What time is it? Okay, we've been trading now for 10 seconds under 3 hours. This is slow. Is it going to push up? Did you see someone has withdrawn 1 million last month? I did hear, yeah. Amazing, isn't it, really? Just goes to show, there's money to be made, isn't there? Just because it's a prop firm doesn't mean you can't take a ton of money. Some people don't make $1 million in 10 years, do they? Some people, yeah. Well, what's the average wage in the US? What does it take you 20 years to earn that sort of money? It's unbelievable, isn't it, really? There is money out there, definitely, and lots of it. And if you're focused and you can follow rules and you stick at it, it is mind-boggling. You're not wrong, mate. It's a huge. I mean, $1 million. It's not pocket change, is it? It's life-changing money, really, isn't it? Well, after the tax man's got hold of it. But mind you, in all honesty, if I was withdrawing amounts like that, I'd be seriously considering moving to a country with less tax, like Dubai, or free taxing. It's my dream to go to Dubai, not for long, just for maybe a few years, just to enjoy the lifestyle, say I've done it, add a little bit of excitement in my day. It's not something everybody does. That's my dream. So earning that sort of money, well, you can have a nice lifestyle, can't you? If you can actually build up to earn that much money, money should just sort of follow you around, really, shouldn't it? Okay, I expected that. I think we get a little bit more, but it's really, whenever you get something like that and it struggles to get up, it may trap some longs there, and it's just taking all that. It tends to flush the cobwebs out, but we've had a push up, a little bit of sideways, and it's struggling. And whenever it seems to do that, a lot of the times I'd be thinking, come on, give us our second push, and I'd be getting in here, and all of a sudden, wham. I don't know how many times I've lost trades like that. So now I just let it, when it's struggling like that, I just let it sort itself out and figure out what it wants to do next. It might just need to come back and just sort of pick up some liquidity, and then maybe encourage a few more buyers to get in. You could say a triple test there, but how slow that's going up at the moment, I don't really want to get into that, in all fairness. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to take a trade right about now, but 16 ticks, tick above, tick below, it's too risky at the moment. I mean, it's triggered now and started to come back, so straight away you'd be thinking, what have I done there? And not only that, if you look on the NQ, what's happened on the NQ, we've had this breakout which has failed quickly. It's come back and we've gone up very slowly. We've broken out again, and it's closed bearish, so we may now start to work down. So I don't think going long here is the best the best trading strategy at the moment. I just don't know what it's going to do. We could have a leg and a leg, and then it may go up, or it may just push up, or it could come down. It's not really giving away much, to be honest with you. We have come off these lows. We do seem to be finding some resistance there, which we've hit. So are we going to get up here? Possibly, probably. But I couldn't tell you when. So look at this now. There's a lower high forming after we've come back and retested these highs after that failed breakout. So I wouldn't like to be in that trade now. It's a fair old sized bar, that, isn't it? So if you went long a tick below there and a tick above it, it's $450. If you've got half a dozen accounts on the line there, it's just too much for me. That's not what you want to see, really. You may be okay sometimes if it's a strong enough position and the stop's in the right place. Sometimes it might hold, but we've actually had a channel up here and a break, 2 pushes up to a new high and a bearish bar, followed by a lower high, which is closed below the EMA. So for me, I think the NQ is more likely to come down than go up. So if it does come down, you can kiss goodbye to that stop. So I'm just staying out. In fact, I'm knocking on the day now, actually, to be fair. It's not an easy day today, a little bit boring. Doesn't tend to give you a lot, doesn't it? It's pretty hard to trade. You may have taken that. Sort of like a triple test and then up some more. But when it's grinding up slowly, I don't like trading it. And it's been a lot of sideways push down, chop, push down, chop, push down, chop. And when we get this push down and these pullbacks, that's where we're looking to get in. But when you're getting chopped like that, and then same there. In fact, I don't think that was a bad setup, that one. We come down, we make 2 attempts to go lower. What would that have made? I may have had a go at that one. I can't remember not seeing it. So you'd have got 2 points for certain, and another one there maybe. But it is very sidewaysy and whippy, isn't it? And stemmy. And when it's like that, I just lose a little bit of confidence in it. There is a lower high there. After this overshoot, we're making attempts to test these highs or to break the highs, and we seem to be struggling. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have another strong leg down to these lows against something in the region of this. I wouldn't be shocked if we have something like that at all. In fact, I'm done for the day anyway, basically I am. So no trades for me today. That one I would have taken. I wasn't here at the time. I tend to not trade till 2 now, so that was just before 1:30 UK time. So a bit of a slow, boring day today. But it happens sometimes. It's just one of those things. When I say sometimes, it happens quite a lot lately. Just going to save my chart. So Tuesday, another Tuesday gone by. I'm okay. So for the week so far, I'm up 1 trade. If I can win 3 trades, I get 3 winning trades, clear winning trades in a week. I'm quite okay with that. It's around about $600 minus fees per account. That would be $2,000 on a month. If I could average $2,000 on a month, I'd be really pleased with that. And it's only 3 winning trades a week. If you're careful, it's not. I wouldn't suggest that would be that difficult to do. Obviously, you've got to have the setups, and there is a lack of them. But I don't think it's unrealistic to expect to be up 3 winning trades over a week. Not really. So if I could do that, I mean, even if you did half of that over a month and you had 10 accounts, still $10,000 a month. So we'll see. So yeah, so if you did go that one, trigger just stopped you out. So we are struggling here. So it's a hard day today. I found it hard to work out what was going on at times, and when we do tend to move up, we do it very, very creepily. It's very shady, this. It's almost saying, come on, I'm going to take all your money type of looking market. So I think I am done for the day. So let's just clear my chart. So if you're carrying on trading, guys, best of luck. I hope you get some form of a setup. But I don't like it when it's doing this. It can chop you up. It really can. It's got a habit of picking off weak positions. So I'm just not a fan of this type of market today. It's not very clear, is it? And you can get chopped up a bit. So there you go, folks. I hope you get a setup for the day. Failing that, I'll be back tomorrow. So have a great evening. Stay safe, and hopefully tomorrow we may get a setup. I'm up one for the week anyway, so it's a good start. So there you go. I'm going to shut down my trade now. Part of my new rules is I am done and dusted by 6 o'clock. I've given myself a 30-minute window either way. That is it, between 2 and 6, and I am done. No more coming back to the chart later in the evening for any reason, because whenever I do, it always seems to go wrong. When I trade my normal trading hours and pack up, very rarely do I have problems. In fact, I'll go as far as to say I just don't have problems. Losing a trade or two and walking away now isn't a problem for me. I can do it. It happened week before last. I had a day where I lost 2 trades. I had a day where I was down a trade, walked away, never came back. It's when I get greedy or I decide to have a play around with an evaluation, I tend to end up sort of getting sucked into something. So my normal trading hours, and then I'm walking away. So there you go. So have a great evening, folks. Best of luck if you're still trading, and failing that, I'll see you tomorrow. So stay safe, and we will talk same time tomorrow. Bye for now.